by combing his hair out with the wide side of the comb. Then we balled him out, referencing the corner of the ear and the point of his temple line. I'll foil shave it. And now with my liver all the way open, I approach for my second area. Your areas are going to be anywhere from a half inch to an inch and a half. They can vary depending on your client, and you'll learn what suits them best over time, over periods of cutting the hair many times. A lot of my clients have been coming to me for years, so I've had time to adjust and see what works best for them and my style together. So after I close the lever all the way, I get that bottom line out, I open it up halfway and get any shadow left over. I cut down the top with a 1.5 guard all the way open, brushed it down with a hard brush, and I throw my 1 guard on for my third area. Being sure to brush or comb the hair out of the way as I blend or set in my areas just so I get a clear picture. Now I throw on my half guard, have it all the way open, and I go 3/4 of the way into the 1 guard area. Then I close it a notch and I drop down to the halfway mark of my 1 guard area. Then I close it 1 more notch and I drop down 1/4 of the way in my 1 guard area. Then I close it all the way and I connect my 2 areas together. Again, that's how we cycle through our lever positions. It's always going to be the same way when we blend. Now I throw my 1.5 guard on there all the way open. I'm going about 1 inch into the top, or the side, excuse me. Then I close it halfway, drop down to about 1/2 inch, close it another notch, drop down, close it all the way, connect the areas. Right, I laid it down with a foam, put some heat on it with a do-rag. Now I'm wiping them with 91% alcohol. I don't use 99 because it's too strong and 70 isn't enough. So I sprayed holding spray on there, and then I'll brush it in to make sure it gets all the way down to the scalp. I use a razor comb to hit any overhang. It's going to take away from the sharpness. Sometimes you might need to throw your 1 guard on for these wave cuts over the ear. Right now I'm coming in, starting at the nape. A lot of times when you got cuts on people, it comes from the liners being too hot. So starting in the nape area can help sometimes because that's probably one of the most delicate areas. And around the ear, I always brush it, not comb it. I brush it, it grabs the hair is good. I put in my line, I brush it 1 more time, and then I just hit the overhanging over my existing line. When you prep the line up by way of laying down the hair with the foam or mousse and then the holding spray and 91% alcohol, it just allows your clippers to work perfectly for you. Those liners I used over the ear were my dullest liners. They don't irritate anybody. They're for kids and just sensitive areas, but it was still putting a crispy line on them. All that is because of the proper lineup prep. You could think you could skip some of these steps and still achieve what you're looking for, but that's really the key. That's why not everybody can cut like that, because they skip steps. They get lazy, complacent. You see, after you put the good line on there, framing your work can sometimes expose flaws in your blend and give you a different perspective, and you just adjust as needed. So I started with my lever all the way open, and then I closed it as needed. Looking at my blend from the front on these tapers really show me the lines of demarcation, and then I just go right in. I always start with a bigger guard than needed and work my way down. Right, and I laid down his hair with the pomade and do-rag and heat. You see how I really brightened it up? I applied enhancement after the pomade as well. Nice and laid down. Really work on it next week or even tomorrow, doing your haircuts in the exact same way, the same order. Sometimes I may switch it up in the video, but a lot of times that's just for video purposes. Again, this weekend I do have a ball fade tutorial coming, as well as a head shave tutorial. Pretty much any pomade is going to give the hair that shine, that type of look. I like to use stuff with no phthalates or parabens or sulfates. It's just better for you. All right, my guys, ready? Drill it into your head, same way every time. You get the same results on everybody.